because let's see. This weekend I've got to do taxes that I still haven't done.
Yeah, I was Sunday. I'm gonna do my taxes.
Yep, so I got to take care of that. But let's see. Earlier this week, last week I was sick, messed everything up, and then Monday this week, my wife blew out a tire driving to work, so I had to go take care of that in the rain, and that was a lot of fun. And then on top of that, a bunch of stuff, in the business and blah blah blah. So I just wanted to kind of decompress and hang out and talk about how great we are at basketball or something.
No, sorry, you got that song stuck in my head. I was just singing it. Like, I don't know what it was. It's just the melody of it
It's
is
like I
just
don't
stuck.
even know what song you're talking about.
I'm terrible with names of songs and lyrics. Just
Yeah.
not my forte. Give
Well,
me numbers.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, because like at the gym we were talking about. Oh well, first of all, we're gonna switch that up a little bit. I think we're doing after last week when I kind of figured out or realized, had the self realization that burnout is something that happens. that anyway, that's like the main factor for why I end up sick and blah blah blah. So we switched to 3 days a week. We're just gonna go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday instead of all 5 days. So we'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we'll podcast Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But that I'm also trying to figure out like I like going at 3 a.m. because nobody's there, and then the podcast early in the morning. But since we had Josh on the other day and we've been talking about,
Bringing on more people.
yeah, Josh is local, right? So coming out at 5 a.m. isn't that bad. He probably woke up at 4:30, maybe made it here by 5. But the people who are coming from an hour away are not gonna show up at 5. So we've got to come up with a different schedule, and I don't know how that works for you. So we'll have to figure that out later. But anyway, all that to say that we're gonna take, what word am I looking for? We're gonna slow down a little bit, not as far as working goes, but as far as outside of work, like gym and all that stuff. I'm gonna pump the brakes, get some more sleep, see if that helps me.
More sleep. You ready for this? I haven't been to sleep yet.
I could tell when I texted you, or when you texted me last night. You said I'm way behind. I'm probably not gonna make it to the gym, right?
Yep.
So at 2:40, I wake up and I like that text, right? I was like, all right, whatever. And then I told you this. I was like, you told me I might not make it, right? So I was getting out of bed, and then I was like, you know what? If he's not going, I'm not going. I laid back down, right? I was like, that's all I needed. And then you texted me back immediately at 2:40, which you usually don't wake up till like 3:15 or something. So 2:40, you text me right back, and you're like, oh, don't worry, I'll be there. And I was like, ah, damn it, now I gotta go. So yeah, I was like, what the hell is he doing up this early? Like, you don't get up that early.
Yeah, well, no, it's ironic. It's funny. Last week you talked about burnout. We talked about burnout.
Yep.
I think I doubled down on work
Mm-hmm.
since then.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually got like it sounds stupid, but I like for a couple of days there I did not want to do work. Then I doubled down and it doesn't bother me one little bit. I'm back into the groove. Like it doesn't even bother me. And I'm not saying that's normal for most people.
Right.
But for me, I like to work.
Oh yeah, I do too. But like, when that when I have to sacrifice the gym because the gym is necessary for me, like I like it. I like going to the gym. It makes me feel better. So when I'm not able to go to the gym because I'm too tired, then
I just get too focused into work. It's probably like a bad thing that I get drawn into my work as much as I do.
mhm.
Um, but when I sell my company for millions, I won't have to do much.
Yeah. So uh I'm gonna take do 3 days a week, and it may be later, in the morning. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But at least 3 days a week for now. And
Mhm.
then the podcast, we got to come up with another time for that if we're going to start having guests on. Because again, the mornings are perfect because we can do it here because there's nobody around. But as soon as the other offices start filling up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. until 5 p.m., it's too loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean we can. we can always do like, I mean, there's 1,000 different ways to think, but like we can always do like a Wednesday and just do it at a a later time, 7, 8 at night when everyone's gone,
That
and
might
it's
work for you.
easier to not no, not for you.
That's the only time I get to see my kid. You know what I mean? I don't get to see her in the morning before we leave, and she's at school all day. So the only time I get to see her is before bed at 7 or 8 o'clock. So and then to come back down here, you know what I mean, and then get back home by midnight probably something like that. There goes the whole trying to do it at different times. So
Well, unless if I hit you at, let's do it at 8 a.m. in the morning,
yeah, again,
10 a.m. in the morning. It's gonna.
that's what I'm saying. Like I was thinking later in the afternoon, like 3 p.m. or something. But like obviously we can't do it here.
I was like, you just hit with this the noise stipulation.
Well, 8 a.m. is the same thing. We can't do it here.
Well, no, that's why I.
Yeah. So we'll figure all that out later. But anyway, I forgot what we were talking about before that. Which is something that also that I wanted to mention. Like we have these conversations and then we put them up, right? We've recorded, I don't know how many now, 20 something. We're probably up to 20. And I literally will forget what we've talked about. We've probably said the same words on multiple episodes already because I've forgotten. You know what I mean? I'll say the same thing multiple times, and I'll go back and listen to them and be like, "Shit, I just said that today," and that comes out in 3, 4 weeks. They're gonna hear it again. You know what I mean? So, like, I always wondered, like, when I watch podcasts, um, how they talk about the same thing over and over again. But then I'm like, now I'm doing it. I'm like, oh, that's how. You get talking and you just we for the first couple we were slamming out for 30 minutes.
Hmm.
Maybe they went to 40 or something, but we were trying to keep them short. But it's really hard to do when you get on a subject like even or not yesterday, the other day when we had Josh on.
Yeah, I think we could have went for like 2 hours easily.
Easily. Like there's so much more that we need to talk to him about. We just found out how he got to his business and really didn't even touch on the last 3 or 4 years when he's been doing the most business operations. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like we didn't even get to talk about all that, which is primarily what I wanted to cover. But we got the rest of we got to hear his story and how he got there. So we'll just have him on again. But like that's the type of thing. What's the happy medium for a podcast? Because a lot of people don't want to listen to 3 hour podcasts, but it's hard to cut off conversations at 1 hour when you get moving. You know what I mean?
That's why you just do whatever the episode dictates.
Yeah. So, I'm just saying like for those that don't have a podcast and like things that we didn't think about when we started a podcast,
Oh yeah,
you
most definitely.
yeah, you find out as you're going like okay, there's a couple things here that now make sense when I'm watching other podcasts why they are the way that they are.
Hmm.
Um so anyway, we trying to have some more guests on. We'll figure out.
The chair.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
It's weird because like in the actual recordings, now that we have these headphones, by the way,
Yeah.
everything should be going a lot smoother because we can actually,
Hear things.
yeah, we can hear what each other sound like. Um, we can hear this. Yeah,
And not actually, like interrupt mid clap.
exactly. So it's nice. Now I understand why they have headphones on podcasts. Before I was like, I can hear him talking. What do I need? But then after Josh was here and rocking back and forth, which he texted me, he goes, "Hey man, I was moving around quite a bit, huh?" um, so I had to adjust the sound. So that last podcast had some sound issues where it was really quiet, and I got probably 3 or 4 messages yesterday that were like, "Hey, maybe in the future we could go a little louder." And I was like, "Yeah, I tried," but our guest was
Yeah, way back here. Yeah, it's okay.
yeah, and that's why Josh is so cool because he literally texted me. He's like, "Oops," he's like, "Well, we'll do better on the next one." So
Well, and that's the thing. It's the headphones really do
it make a
fix that.
huge difference. They
Yeah.
do make a huge difference. So we'll get one more pair. These were just testers. We got 2 different brands to see how they work, and honestly, I'll probably keep these 2 because they're great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, this is just
Yeah,
they're fine.
yeah, $30. Everybody thinks you got to spend $1 million to start a podcast, but
No.
$30 headphones. The mics were, I think, 40, $50. These were $30. This is the only thing that actually cost money.
Yeah, but I mean, the only reason why, I mean, I think we overkilled it.
How so?
No?
I mean, we probably could have gotten some other setup. You know what I mean? But I wanted to go with this one because, it's got 4 inputs for mics. We can have a phone call in. We can have a computer hooked up to it that can have a mic on it. And then we can also have a Bluetooth connected to it with a mic. So like we can have, what's that, 6, 7 people on here if we wanted to. And then it records for 8.5 hours. And there's just a bunch of other, benefits to having this. We haven't set up all this yet, but I can custom load in my own sounds on here. So we can do the podcast intro, start that, and then dye that out where I want it. And then I don't have to do anything in editing. You know what I mean? Like right now I'm cutting stuff out and shifting things and yeah. So yeah, this you could have gone a little cheaper, but this was $350.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So like all in we're, a few $100 under $1,000 to get all of this equipment and do what we're doing. So, but the headphones, that's the biggest piece. Like each time we get something new, we're like, yeah, we're there. And then so I don't know what's next. Next is definitely the cameras. Like
no,
this.
No, it's not. Stop. A backdrop.
Oh yeah, we should probably get those sheets up here so that we're not looking at the
Blinds.
the corner of our makeshift conference room.
It works.
It's more like a lounge. I don't even.
Yeah, but I mean, with a good, it's not. You don't even have to go a good backdrop. Just a backdrop.
No, literally, like I showed you those. We'll get them. I'll get those Walmart freaking king size bedspread is all it was.
Yeah, but they had like stars on them.
No, it didn't.
I was like, is this dude serious? I saw that. I was like,
I could do the Spider-Man sheets.
I mean, we'll do that and then like Hulk on this side.
Yeah, and then
change it up.
Get sued.
Oh,
Copyright.
let's not joke about that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, those two. One side was gray, one side was black, and I think the black did have little diamonds on it. So it looked like a porn studio or something.
Yeah, I'm good. People don't think they're coming into the corner to get interviewed.
Yeah. Interviewed. But anyway, so yeah, we'll get the backdrop and then
Canceled.
cancel. This I don't know. I was reading this story yesterday about this school teacher in St. Louis. She was a high school teacher, and I don't know when, probably a couple years ago or something. A high school's teacher's salary is like $42,000 a year or something where she was. So she's making $42,000 a year, and she started in OnlyFans, right? And obviously, that lasted a little bit before one of her students found it, and everybody found out about it, right?
Yeah.
So it ended up on the news. So it ended up, hey, this high school teacher was fired or resigned after.
So let's just ruin her life more.
Not quite.
No, I know, but I was gonna say, but there's a plot twist.
Yeah.
She's a millionaire.
Exactly. So they they put her on the news and said, yeah, this teacher was forced to resign. You know what I mean? After finding out that she has an OnlyFans. So boom, all the creepy guys.
The news gave her an attaboy.
Yep.
Just like
all the creepy guys immediately hop on there and say, what, high school teacher on OnlyFans? And found her, and she made $1 million in a month. And she was like, I'm not going back to teaching. So, like, why? Like, you got to be stupid. Maybe that's why. Maybe the news producer was like, let's hook her up. Let's get her paid for losing her job. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I thought it was. I wonder how many of her students were those subscribers of those millions. But anyway, I thought that was hilarious.
No, that's funny. That's
So all that to say, like, if we set up like a porn studio, maybe we'll do better. We don't know.
There's some things I'm willing to go into business with you with,
Yeah,
but
that's not one of them.
I'm gonna do a hard pass on that, pun intended.
Nice. Yeah, but after the backdrop, they came out with a new version of this camera.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So they came out with a studio 4K version that you can put lenses on,
Oh, okay.
and it still works on here. so I don't have to get like new equipment and all that, and it'll be better quality. Like this is 1080p, but it looks real grainy when I'm editing it, and I can't. There's nothing I can do.
Look at you, sound a professional.
Yeah. Oh man, let me tell you, the terms and the stuff that I've learned editing, and I still suck. But like, I gotta say,
We're getting there,
yeah, I said
except with the sound.
the sound. Well, I did the best I could with the sound the other day. That literally took me like, I mean, I was probably editing that one for 3 or 4 hours.
Just as good as your intro.
Just as good as the intro, 3 or 4 hours. um, I was literally, adjusting it to make it all sound equal, and then the highest volume it would go, and it was still like real quiet. So, but when I was editing it, it didn't sound that bad. I don't know why, but whatever. We'll fix it on this one. This will be nice and easy now because
We got to get an intro. We really do.
we need to shoot an intro. We need to shoot a trailer. We need to snap some photos. I had a recommendation yesterday. Really good. Another friend, a mutual friend of Josh and I's, right? She goes, "Hey, can I offer a couple of pieces of advice on the podcast?" And I was like, "Great." I was like, "We suck." Like, I can't wait to hear what this is. So I was like, "Of course, anything that I can fix." And all she said was, "It's real quiet." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm working on that one. The headphones are here, so hopefully that's better." And then she said, "You guys should just set up a dedicated Facebook page and Instagram instead of me sharing it only on mine." She's like, "Because I tried to share it and tag you, your brother, and Josh, but I'm not friends with your brother, so I can't tag him." She's like, "So if I could just tag the Geese and Brothers podcast and it sends you guys there." And I was like, what a dumb thing to not think about. Like, why did I not set that up? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff we gotta do with this to keep it going. But
Yeah, sorry, my head's like half in.
yeah, still watching your ads.
No. Meaning like my head's half in there because I'm doing so much other things
Yeah,
with
yeah.
like to go like I. What do you think I do?
Hmm?
Like I said brain console, and I didn't even do that for us.
Yeah, no,
And that's what I'm saying. I'm like my head's
I
not
mean,
there.
same thing. This isn't my main thing.
Yeah.
I do like doing
Well,
this
yeah,
a
I like
lot,
doing this. I'm just not thinking
but
of.
yeah, I'm spending so much time editing and posting everything that I don't. And also, like, you got to be around to shoot all that other stuff. I can't just say, "Welcome to the Geese and Brothers podcast." Just me. You know what I mean? So
That's why we gotta get an office together. It would be the only way something like that is gonna be.
I'm constantly looking. The problem is affordability right now, and like we'd have to sign a 3-year lease, and I don't like signing anything over like
6.
6 months,
I like 3.
maybe a year if it's like if it's pretty big, because the problem is like you know 3 6 to 8 months from now we'll probably outgrow whatever space we're able to afford at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to make sure there's a not too, terrible of a buyout clause.
Yeah. So like what I think, I've got that extra bedroom. That's the office. That may become. It's a fucking hour away from you, though. You know what I mean? But like, if we're shooting podcasts with people that has to be after a certain time, we just set all this up in there and leave it, and not have to tear it down every day like we do right now. But ideally, we get something centrally located. You know what I mean? So you don't have to drive all the way out there in the middle of a day.
Yeah, it's just where in this
I've been looking.
town.
Yeah, we'll find something, because it also, like, in the middle of the day, it's got to be.
It can't be loud
Yeah, like that studio over there, they did that specifically because it's
inside.
yeah.
There's no outside exterior walls touching it.
Exactly. So it's sitting in the center of the building, so there's no vibration getting in, and then they've soundproofed the whole thing. So you can't, like yesterday or the other day when we were recording, they picked up the dumpster at the freaking mall across the street, and it was like, "Geez, that's loud."
I know, it sounded like it came through the wall.
Yeah, so like you can't hear that in there. You can't hear cars, you can't hear anything in there. Besides, like, if somebody accidentally opens the door on us.
Well, yeah, but that's because we left the door open.
Yeah, a couple times that was funny, but it's like we got to find somewhere eventually. But as a interim, maybe we set up over there, because I know you don't really have the space at your house at the moment, so uh, just thoughts that I was having to try and figure something out so that we can get people out there and not have to do it at 5 a.m. for those people. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy shooting it right now because A, it keeps me busy, right? So I'm not going back home going to sleep or something. But B, it's peaceful. There's nothing going on. My phone's not ringing. I don't have to worry about missing a phone call at a job site. I don't have to. It's nice. You get more accomplished. I think you can be more focused on here instead of thinking about everything else.
Yeah, I mean, I think like 9:30 hits and it's just mayhem.
Yeah, pretty much.
Trying to put out as many fires as I can so I can get to my tasks.
Yeah, and I mean, mine's getting a lot better as I'm wrapping up a couple things in my job site or my project manager's getting there. Still got some work to do, but he it's like I was thinking about the other day. It's about 40-60 right now, right? So he's freed up 40% of my time where I'm still doing 60% of the work that I shouldn't be doing. Like he should be doing 100% of his job and he's doing about 40% of it. But that's 40% of the time that I don't have to spend running around to job sites. You know what I mean? Like yesterday, I needed to take pictures of a job site that was an hour and a half away. So like it was nice to just say, "Hey, go take some pictures." So he ran all the way down there for me. So there's a 4 hour span, you know what I mean? Um, that I didn't have to worry about taking care of. I was able to sit here in the office and get some stuff done, but then when it comes to the critical stuff, like I'm still doing that stuff because he just can't yet. So we're working the kinks out because I think it's worth keeping, not giving up on him because again, he does free up the driving around and stuff. You know what I mean? If
Hmm.
I still have to call the subcontractors to schedule them, I can do that from the office. It does take time, but it takes less time than having to drive out to take a picture of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, an hour and a half away.
Right.
Yeah, no.
So as I get that dialed in, my time becomes more available, and then I'm able to spend more time at this, which is where I would ultimately like to be, is just doing this whenever I want, and then working on the other stuff that we're starting up.
Yeah, that's I'm excited about that. I can't wait to get the heck how do you say that? Just make it as passive as possible. The other um, you know, 5 or 6 things I have my hands in. I'm trying to pull back so it can be a little bit easier because it's just that business is just so advantageous. Like it's so fun to do.
What business?
What we're
Oh, I was like,
gonna get into, but
really? You really think insurance is that much
no, no,
fun?
insurance is a grind and it is um not for the cold-hearted.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Well,
for sure.
that's I don't. Well, cold-hearted,
Sorry.
the opposite. It's
Well,
not for the light-hearted.
lighthearted. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. I was like, I think you could have a pretty cold heart and do well in insurance.
Yeah, no, no, that's the opposite. You want to be cold-hearted in insurance. Most people are.
Yeah. So we had that conversation yesterday, right? About you meet these business owners as you're growing up, right? And ninety
Yeah.
percent of them are just assholes, but they're rich, right? And you're like, man, I'm never going to be like that. And then you're in business for a little while, and you realize like there's a reason. Because if you don't, you get taken advantage of, and you have to look out for yourself and your family. And once you make that decision, like you still don't have to be as much of an asshole, but like I understand now, looking back, like oh, now it makes sense.
I understand why they say no to everybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like it's not even like a, well, you have the money, you can help. No, no,
yeah.
absolutely, I can't do it. No, because if I
Hmm.
say yes to you, it's gonna be for everybody, and then I absolutely you
Yeah,
just can't do it.
yeah, exactly. So now I get why um, when I was starting out or first moving out here and didn't have anything, and I needed this rich family member that I knew. Or I say rich. He was wealthy. You know what I mean. So like he had bought a house and it came with a washer dryer that he didn't need because he had just bought brand new washer and dryer. And I was like, oh, I need a washer and dryer. So he was like, oh, all right, great. I'll give them to you $400. And I went, like, I was upset. Like, you wouldn't just give that to me. You know what I mean? Which I still would probably just give that to somebody that needs help. You know what I mean? In the family, especially. But I understand why he didn't. You know what I mean? Because, like, just like you said, you say yes to me, you got to say yes. You're going to end up saying yes to somebody else. And then it's just a rabbit hole that leads down to losing money.
Yeah, and family's hard when money is involved.
Yeah, yeah. Because, like me back then, I expected it. You know what I mean? I expected it for free. So, which most family does. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's family. It's blood. Come on now.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyway, that's like we were talking about that. Just I get that, and the whole insurance being cold-hearted. Like it's really any sales job is you know you can make a ton of money, but you're gonna probably lose a little bit of sleep, in my opinion, or at
So,
least I would.
um, it's not even that. It's the fact that y anybody in the industry, good, bad, like you have people who come in who just do wrong by everybody, make millions and leave the industry without a scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have individuals who are by the textbook and the industry can leave them with a bad taste because somebody's greedy for money. It's just a different beast.
Yeah.
Now lose sleep. I work like the whole like working thing. Like, are you talking about more of like lose sleep in the sense of like making sure you're doing right?
Yeah, that like
Oh
losing sleep. Like, oh man,
no,
I
no, no.
screwed that
I
guy
can tell you
over. I didn't
this.
do that ethically.
Literally every policy I've ever put in place, I believe it has been an ethical policy,
Right.
and I have educated them on what is and what will be of the policy.
Yeah.
I am not scared to lose anything. So, in that fashion of like, hey, I'm not doing my job right. So, like, if I got to move over someone's $1 million retirement, I'm very, very confident in what I know and how much knowledge that I have learned throughout the years and research I've done to where I'm going to sleep very well getting a nice check helping you out to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, similar in my industry, right? Like, well, any industry. That's a good tip that we should probably share is it's, you know, being in business is tough, right? Like there's things that are difficult, but the principles are pretty simple.
Yeah.
You just you do what you say you're going to do, right? But like the main thing f- like you just said is and the principles that I use are uh act as if you're in the customer's shoes and do everything that you do the way that you would expect somebody to do it for
For
you,
you. Exactly.
right? So like when I'm building a house, I didn't get to do this when I worked for the other guy because he liked to build differently and whatever, but when I'm building a house now, I build it as if it were my house. So if I don't think it's safe, if I don't think it's sealed correctly, then I don't do it. You know, if they say, "Oh, well, you know, can we do something a little different, save a little bit of money?" There's like a base standard that I have that is above the normal standard, right? So you could go cheaper, but I'm not comfortable doing that because you know then you get all those warranty callbacks within the first year, and you're going out and fixing all this stuff, and it's you know it was always me that did all that. So now I build them a certain way, and you don't get callbacks. You know what I mean? You might get a callback because some of the thread tape or something on the shower head didn't seal correctly, so there's a little bit of a leak. But that's it. You know what I mean? That's a normal callback because we don't live in the house. We can't run the shower head for, you know, an hour a day. So we we can't test everything completely. But like that's it. I'm not getting a callback because there's, you know, uh water leaking through the doors or you know what I mean? Like all the stuff that would happen in the past. I just don't do that. I build it a certain way because it's how I would be comfortable living in it. You know what I mean? And if you do that, then you don't have any problems. You don't have to
It
worry about problems.
it's literally you're saying that, and all I'm hearing is these little things that I'm correlating to how I sell my policies.
Exactly.
And it's if someone came to you, how would you expect the class act, like the grade A service?
Hmm.
And then if you can duplicate that and do it for someone.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, it doesn't mean that that's every person,
Yeah,
you know what
no.
I mean? But it's the people that you want to work with anyway.
Hmm.
So it's, once you figure that out, it becomes pretty simple to keep things moving in the right direction. But figuring it out, at the beginning, you go into business with that thought. And that's what I did. I was like, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that stuff is the way that I want it and perfect, right? But I didn't price it right. So I would do that on the first couple jobs, first couple months with like to the T, this is how it should be done, this is how I would do it. But I was losing money left and right. So that put me in a cycle where now I'm having to jump to the next job to finish paying bills for this job. And because of that, I would go, "Ah, all right, well, you know what? That's good enough. Let's move on. We got to go over here to get this money. So this one's done. And then the callbacks start. You know what I mean? And you get into that cycle, and that's a tough one to get out of. But, but you keep adjusting and you make it to where you want to be.
It literally just sounds like chargebacks in my industry.
Yeah. It's
And it's,
just, it's the same thing. Every single industry is the same. But it comes down to, again, doing things the right way. So like even though like there would be those callbacks, but I'd still go out and I'd fix everything because that's what I expect to happen. You know what I mean? I expect if it were me that I paid you, this is supposed to be done this way, come back out and fix it,
mhm.
right? So even though I'm bleeding money, I'm still going to make it right because that's just who I am. So
Yes.
and that people will figure that out, and there's another contractors podcast where he talks about like any good contractor, any successful contractor will lose money the first couple years because they don't know what they're doing, but they're not going to rip people off. You know what I mean? Like they're going to go back out, fix things even though they priced them wrong and all that. And I was like, well, that hits home.
I didn't make a profit until year 3.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when. I mean, this my first business, I didn't make a profit until, and then I merged with the other guy, and then, now I'm fine. But like, yeah, that first year and a half, almost 2 years was nothing. I just nothing but losing money.
Yeah, no, I definitely racked up some bills. I put it that way.
Yeah, yeah, and that's just part of the game. That's how I would say most entrepreneurs get started. You know what I mean? Just you go through that phase and you come out on the other side. But if you listen to this podcast, you just come out a little faster. You know what I mean? You get you get to that point a little quicker. Um, I mean, it's funny. Like I literally just wanted to talk about crap today, and we ended up being helpful. You know what I mean? Like I just wanted to come. Like we talked about how terrible I am at basketball at the gym, right? And so I was like, let's just have a fun conversation like that. And then here we are back talking about business,
It just
giving
is.
advice.
It's not even trying to give advice. It's just
No,
fun
we're not
talking.
exactly. But like we end up giving advice. You know what
Yes.
I mean? But of course that's why we started the podcast because we talk all the time about this stuff.
Yeah, and it normally goes right back to business.
Yeah, yeah. Even like I'll tell the story about basketball and I bet we end up back doing something. But anyway, so for those of you that don't know, I I mean I probably should have gone pro MBA. I think I had a scholarship.
WNBA.
Okay. All right. I still would have got my ass whooped. So I'm absolutely. I didn't play basketball in high school.
You could have dunked on them.
I was terrible. Um, so when we joined the Marine Corps, right? So when I get to the fleet, they do mandatory fun day PTs, and they wanted to play basketball. So they said, "Hey, everybody's playing basketball, 06." And I was like,
You sure?
yeah. I was like, Are you sure about that?" Because I've been able to avoid basketball for the longest time because our gym teacher in high school would, for the kids who didn't like basketball, would set up like Dance Dance Revolution or something. So we'd go play that, right? If we didn't want to play basketball. And then I didn't play it in sports, you know what I mean? I didn't join the teams and I didn't play any pickup games that you guys were all playing. I was like, yep, I don't have to play. I'm not playing, right?
Yeah.
So then I get out to the Marine Corps and they're like, hey, everybody's playing. And I went, shit. right?
Everybody.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody.
I was like, man, I gotta go to medical. I hurt my ankle, you know. But so I show up, right, and they see that I'm tall, so they're like, oh man, this guy's got it, right? And I was like, guys, I'm not that guy. I'll be the first to tell you, do not pass me the ball. I don't even know how to block. I don't even know what I'm doing out here. I'm just bumping into people, people running into me.
I don't know how to block.
I don't know anything. Like, they're like, I remember we huddled up real quick, and the one goes, "Hey, set a pick," and I was like, "The fucking pick? What the fuck? What does any of that mean?" Right? So I just kind of stood there, and people would run
Just
into me.
tackle someone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, don't. That's another story because I did used to do that.
Foul. I know you did.
Yeah.
Foul. You just punched me.
Yeah. So anyway, we're playing this game, right? Someone throws me the ball, and I'm wide open. Nobody's guarding me, right? They're like, take the shot. And I got so confident in that one
Steph Curry.
split second. I was like outside the 3 point, and I was like, nothing. I got this. I'll at least hit the backboard, right? I fire that thing off, and it went 10 feet past the freaking backboard and the rim and everything, hit the back wall of the gym, and then rattled around for like 2 minutes in that cage, that mounts the thing to the wall. It rattled around in there and then hit the ground. And it was like the movies where the record goes skirt, and everyone stared at me, and I was like, I told you not to pass me the ball. I threw, and then after that, it was like,
You didn't have to shoot.
no, I didn't have to do anything. They just subbed me out, and they were like,
No, you didn't have to shoot.
yeah,
You could pass the ball.
I could have done anything else, but I fired that thing, and most people airball it.
I got it, coach. Put me in.
I had been doing nothing but working out, and somehow I launched that thing into the depths of the ceiling and everything. Like, it just rattled around up there, and it rattled for so long. Like, it wasn't like a do and hit the ground.
I don't know why you thought you were gonna be launching a 50-pound weight.
Yeah, I was. I don't know.
Oh
Yep.
God.
So anyway, after that, it was they subbed me out, and then I was only used for
The bench.
yeah, so if someone was tired, they're like, Geeson, get in here. And I go stand there for maybe 20 seconds, and then they'd be like, all right, sub me. So I go back out. It was great. They learned real quick, don't,
Did you keep score? Were you the scorekeeper?
they wouldn't even let me do that.
Hey guys, was that 5 points?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't even know.
Was that touchdown, guys?
Yeah.
Touchdown.
When do we do the field goals? Is that up? Is that next?
Is that what the uprights are for?
Strike. No, so I didn't play that. But when we played soccer, it was something else. You know what I mean? I was out there, I mean, I'm bad at soccer too, but I was not as bad at soccer as I was basketball. So I was at least able to run around out there and kick the ball in the right direction.
Have you ever really recovered
What do you mean?
from soccer?
Oh, you mean my leg?
Yeah, have you gone a full have you tested yourself or
Absolutely.
Okay, well, obviously you were in the Marine Corps afterwards, so I know you obviously did some hiking, some
Yeah.
dumb stuff.
Right. But no, I playing soccer, I did after in the Marine Corps, we were on a little pickup league and stuff, and it was it was fine. I got stronger. I think I could kick the ball further than I could in high school. So, that was the only thing I could do in high school was kick the ball far and hard.
You were good at defending.
Yeah, but that's what I said. The only thing that I could do well was kick the ball. I was a defender. We'll say that, but I wasn't. I definitely wasn't going all-star or pro.
No, who was it? What's his name? I'll just say Kyle. That dude would just blatantly just full speed just run straight into people.
Yeah, well, I mean, I broke that kid's ribs. He dropped his shoulder. I dropped my shoulder. I just happened to be moving a little faster, and I shattered 3 of his ribs in that one game at Johnsburg, right? And I was like, oops. And then a couple of weeks later, freaking kid kicks me in the side of the leg and busts my shin in half.
Okay, I just want to say it was a dirty slide.
it wasn't a slide. I was kicking the ball. I had planted that. I was going to kick the ball. I had planted that foot, and he kicked my shin. Like he didn't slide. He just kicked me. But I had shin splints so bad. If you remember, like I wasn't able like during halftime. Like when if I stopped running, I couldn't move. My legs hurt so bad. But then after halftime, I'd just start running again, and the pain would go away because it was numb. But like it was so bad. So he kicked me, and it just, ting. Yeah, it was like a freaking rubber band. It just whoop out. My toes hit my knee, and I laid on the ground. It was rough.
Which I don't know how many times I had to scream to get them to stop the game.
I know they just kept. I was like, and we didn't call our coach. We called him Jim, right?
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason that our team was so bad.
This is part of the reason why he wasn't a coach.
Yeah. So
Like, good guy, not a coach.
yeah. So I was like, Jim, stop it! You got to stop. My leg's broken. And he was like, get up. Like I remember him going, get up, and I was like, literally, my leg is broken. I'm not getting up. And he was like. And then, finally, like, somebody screamed enough for them to stop the game.
I came out of goal.
Yeah,
I was goalie, and I came out of the goal
Yeah.
looking at the ref, and the ref's like, I'm not stopping it. I literally walked up to the ref screaming at him,
Yeah.
and the other ref saw it and stopped it. I'm like, how does this make sense?
Yeah, because I literally picked my leg up, and my foot was like, bonk.
I'm not moving.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was a very interesting day.
Yeah, and then we get to the hospital, right? And shout out to, not that they listen to this, but Tim Farrell for helping me out and taking us. Well, he took you to the hospital.
Yeah.
The ambulance took me.
Down the bumpy.
I mean,
you, Tim, and I were dying, man. We were cracking up. We were behind the ambulance the whole time, and it was just.
I literally. Yeah.
It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, my legs, I mean, look, just a wet noodle, right? Just dangling around. And the guy literally, the driver goes, hey, so there's two ways that we can get there. There's the fast way and there's the slow way. And he goes, the fast way is pretty bumpy. And I was like, okay, like I don't really care. Until he took the turn and we hit those bumps. And I was like, okay, I care.
Just go faster.
Yeah, it was fun. So, but yeah, we get there, and that was the first year that I had enough money to buy nice cleats, right? So they were like over $100 for those cleats, and I was like, oh man, these are they're so great. So I remember we get there, and the lady starts pulling out scissors to cut stuff. I was like, don't touch them. Do not fucking touch those cleats, because she was just gonna cut them right off. And I made you loosen them all the way up and pull that thing off my foot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember.
I was like, you can cut the shin pad, and my sock. Do not touch that shoe. that was more important to me than my leg.
I still have those cleats in my
Yeah.
In my closet.
Yep. Those were, good. I put some blood, sweat, and tears into those things.
Well, I mean, I used them for the next 2 years afterwards.
Yeah. And they're still, that's what $100 cleats will do for you. They'll keep going.
Yeah,
even after you break your leg.
Just so we know, $100 cleats like 15 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know what cleats cost anymore.
No, I know. I just want to throw the comparison because, like, nowadays I can only.
Yeah, they're probably like $200 now, something like that. But
they were really nice ones.
Yeah, they were nice.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, obviously, we liked soccer, but like, that was a lot of money for us back then.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, that was the first year that I was like, man, I care so much about this sport. I'm going to spend $100 on shoes. And nobody was going to mess those up for me. So, anyway, that was, I remember you took those off, and then they came in, and they were like, yeah, we can't put a cast on this thing. It's too swollen. If we do that, it'll just shrink, and then the cast won't, you know what I mean? The cast won't be doing anything. And they gave me morphine, if you remember that. They shoot me with morphine, and I was like, man, this shit still hurts. Like, I don't feel anything. And so the lady comes back in and she was like, how are you feeling? I was like, well, the same.
Nothing's happened yet.
Nope. And she was like, well, I gave you quite a bit. And I was like, all right, well, I mean, I'm not going to beg you for more, but if you can get some. And so she come back in like 30 minutes later and she's like, how's it feeling now? I was like, nothing. Still feel everything. She goes, all right, well, let me see. She talked to the doctor. She comes back. She goes, I can give you a little bit more. And the fucking second that thing hit that IV, I was like, oh my God.
I know, that's when the doctor came and picked up your leg.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's not supposed to move like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's still messed up. But yep, and then we rode home, got some Subway, and I spent the next 4 months in a cast. It's fantastic. It's a good time.
It's all good. I'm pretty sure I gave that guy a concussion in basketball.
Yeah, that was something else because I had that cast on during basketball
Yup.
season. So I'm crutching it down the hallway during like halftime or something, and I bump into that guy, and he goes, "Oh man, how you doing?" I was like, "Oh, not too bad. I mean, I would be doing a lot better if you didn't break my leg, but yeah, it's not. You get what you get." And he goes, "Great. Do you want me to break the other one?" And I remember he said that as you guys were coming out of the locker room, and it was like, "Is that me?"
Yeah, that was you.
Oh, and I was like, the fuck did you just say? And all of you were like, what the fuck did you just say? And you guys were obviously playing against him. I was sitting on the bleachers, The second half of that game was a very, very interesting game.
He had a lot of illegal screens set on him.
Yeah. So it was funny. And then, so fast forward a little bit, I get the cast off, right? And then day after I get the cast off, I'm back to work, right? We got roofs to shovel. It's It's January. We got roofs. That's money making season for me. I'm always out shoveling roofs, right? So day after I get the cast, you and I go out to shovel a roof, and the first part of the roof. This was a really steep roof. It was a metal roof, so we couldn't get up there. So you get up on a ladder.
Yeah, it's only one ladder too. It's not like, hey, there's two ladders. It's
Yeah.
go do that. It's yeah, you just watch me shovel.
Yeah. Well, we had a roof rake, right? So you were over around the corner, shovel like throwing that up there and then pulling down what you could pull down. But up there they have those ice freaking things on metal roofs that like stop the snow from falling off. So it was really annoying. But anyway, they didn't have it on the front porch apparently. So I was on the ladder on the front
I
porch.
watched it. I remember.
And
All I could think of is, oh, there goes the leg. Literally the day after, there he goes, breaks the other one. How am I gonna explain this?
Yeah. I was trying to break. I was like taking a couple scoops off, and I was trying to break some snow free, and then I hit one spot, and the whole roof broke free at the same time. Threw me off the ladder, and I was only up, I don't know, maybe it was 12 feet or something
Yeah.
like that. So it throws me off the ladder, and I hit the ground, right? And I was already babying that leg because it was broken. So I just landed on the other leg only and just rolled down, right? And I remember you come over and you go, "Are you fucking kidding me? Did you just break your fucking leg again?" I was like, I don't think so. I think we're good. But you didn't let me on the ladder for the rest of the day.
Well, put it in this perspective. I broke my toe. That's like the worst thing, and like I have put myself in some pretty messed up spots.
Yeah.
But when we were little in the pool, I couldn't even enjoy my time swimming in the pool on vacation.
I busted my face open.
Exactly. So you just have a inclination to just go to the hospital.
Well, so the funny thing is, like 2 days before I broke my leg, we were literally sitting down in our class, and we were like, "Yeah, well, we've done some pretty stupid stuff and never broken any bones. Like, there's plenty of things that we've done that we should have broken something." And then I broke my leg.
I should have broke my knees so many times on a bike handle, bro.
Oh, bro. Chain snap.
Those mongooses we had, handy downs, like my knee, like I swear, I made that square area round.
Yeah.
Like God, it hurt so bad.
I
Get cranky, just going right in, just
that was the worst. That was the
And they were
worst.
chunky too back then. Like it was like a solid
Was-
oval, and then
Yep.
no, it was nah.
No, yeah. I'm sure there are some people that can relate to that when they listen to this. Those freaking chains on those bikes slipped off no matter how tight they were. When you got moving, only
only when
when
you got
you
moving.
got moving.
And it's when you stood up to really oomph
Yeah.
behind it. Man, I
was-
went down so many times.
It was every time you're going up a hill. When you really got to put some torque into that thing to keep moving, and it would boom, crack, and knock the wind out of you. You had to lay down on the side of the road for 45 minutes before you can put the chain back on. And that's exactly. And that's after you've thrown the bike over the guardrail down the hill in a fit of rage. You got to go back down and get it now because.
The worst is when you go over the front of the handlebars because your knee just
Yeah.
hit so hard it's stuck in there. Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. So,
No.
oh man, I'm glad you brought that up. That now my knees hurt. Like just
No, it's okay. That the video I sent
No,
to you
don't
the other. Yeah,
ever.
no.
You love. So I broke my shin, right? So this piece of garbage. Every time he gets a video of a freaking Razor scooter smacking somebody in the shins, he's got to send it to me, and
Oh,
it's the worst.
the aftermath of these things are like golf. Not even softball welts on their shins. They just cut up bleeding, and it's just like I mean, it wasn't much, not much at all. There was some mixed martial arts before, the military. Like I can throw kicks. Like I try to condition my shins,
Mhm.
but it is one of those bones, and I will say it is a bitch area on me.
No, yeah,
It is not it.
You think about me.
No, I know, and that's why it's even worse. And it's
Yeah.
just perfect to send you the videos.
Every time you send those, I
Agonizing
literally.
pain.
It is the worst. I mean, anybody that's ever been on a Razor scooter knows how bad it is to just take the edge of that deck to your freaking shin, and do I hate it.
Razors. You remember our electric ones?
Yeah.
Jumping the curbs?
Yeah. Do you know how freaking angry I am now that like you can get an electric scooter that'll go 100 freaking miles and like 60 miles an hour anywhere? It's just normal now. And we had those things
9 miles per hour
and those
with the seat.
yeah.
You remember those seats? We got the freaking seats to sit down on them because it was our transportation.
What was better was like everybody knew we had them, right? Very small town. Everybody knew we had those scooters with the seats. What was better was when mom would take them into town to
Oh
get
my
groceries,
God, I know.
right? So she'd have like I don't know 10 bags on each side of the scooter handles, riding home, sitting down on the sidewalk, and we'd be at school and we'd see her come cruising down. We're like, oh jeez, don't. I hope nobody sees this. And everybody be like, hey, is that your mom? And she looks like like a modern day Wicked Witch of the West cruising around on a freaking, broom, but she's cruising down the side of the road on our scooter. Oh, man.
Oh, those things were just like they lasted so long too. Like we used and
beat the shit out of them.
abused them. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they should have broke day one. Every curb.
After a while, we ended up having to combine them into one.
Yeah, we had to take the batteries out, move them over. The seats wouldn't fit anymore.
Yeah.
No, it was fun though. Those scooters were.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. I remember one of my buddies had a mini bike, a motorized mini bike, a gas powered mini bike.
Okay.
Right. And when you're riding on it, you're like, all right, this thing's like not that fast, right? It's got a governor on it so that kids don't, whiskey throttle into the tree or something. But I had the scooter, and the scooter felt way faster, when you're riding it. Yeah, so I took it over to his house, right? And we go cruising down this hill. And obviously going downhill, everything goes as fast as the wheels will let it go. So we're both going about the same speed. And then I was like, I'll race you back up to the top, right? This is a steep-ass hill. And I, boom, hammered down, tire spins out a little bit on that scooter, and I get moving, right?
And yes, they did spin out.
Yeah. And he just hits his. And I'm like going up the hill, and all of a sudden he just, boom! I was like, what the hell was that? I thought those scooters were so great until I was humbled that day.
Until I was.
Yeah, yeah. It was something
I
else.
don't know why you thought you could race a gas powered.
I thought it was slow when I was riding it. I was like, this thing isn't that fast. The scooter's way faster. Nope. Even with a full battery.
It wasn't a moped.
No, no, it was not. And then like now, like I said, the scooters are everywhere. Like I can go to Best Buy and pick up a scooter for $300 and it holds a charge for, 48 hours of ride time. It goes, 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, but I just wouldn't do that here.
Oh, no.
No, my God, no.
No, but I bet like back home, like
Oh, those.
everybody's got scooters now.
I bet they don't, but they need them.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to ride them to school and try and
You
lock them
wonder
up on the
because I'm pretty sure our town was like it had to be the mecca for DUIs of the state.
state or the country.
uh,
Like still they probably have more DUIs per capita than anywhere else.
per capita, love it.
I don't even know. I don't even know what
wonder.
per capita means. I gotta look that up.
I wonder if you can get DUI on a scooter.
Absolutely. Yeah, they changed it to you. We can get them on a bike now. I don't know why.
It's like I'm trying to be responsible and not drive home.
Yeah, the average per person. That's what per capita means. I had to look it up. I don't know. I'm certain because there's so few people up there. I'm certain that's like.
Yeah,
Just look it up.
it's like it's a 2/3 chance that the person that you passed has a DUI,
Yeah.
and the other 1/3, a third of them are fighting
Oh
a
my
case.
gosh.
Well, what is it? It's probably not. It's probably
Montana. Oh, you know why? Because they're including New York City in these numbers. Because it's by state.
yeah.
So New York City in these numbers. Nobody's driving in New York City. You know what I mean? So it's Montana and Alaska. Well, Alaska, of course.
Well, I'm gonna say that both states that have absolutely nothing but nature.
Yeah.
Like honestly, name one thing, Jane, right now in Montana.
Name what?
Name one thing in Montana.
Billy Goats. What do you mean?
Like a town, like a monument, some
Literally.
type of vacation spot.
No, I literally don't know anything.
Yeah, no, me neither.
All right, so let's see. The paper reported at least Suffolk County. I don't even know where that is. Has recorded more crashes involving alcohol. That's not what I'm asking. I'm wondering who's got the most DUIs.
My gosh. When in doubt.
Damn, Suffolk County is a lot. Marion County's not Marion. Oh, Hamilton County right there. Counties with most alcohol-related fatal accidents per 10,000 residents. We don't even have 10,000 residents in the county.
So if we had any, it's
But we're on the list we're on number 5 on the list for that. But I just wanted to know how many arrests. Doesn't matter. Anyway, it's
yeah, we made a list.
yeah, we
That's the part of what we're saying. We made a list.
yeah, and it's not to, take away from the town. Like it's an okay town, you know what I mean? I there's a reason I don't live there year round. It's great to
I
visit,
love the
but there's
area.
nothing like Josh was
like the
talking
nature.
about. Yeah, there's nothing there but bars. So like what are you supposed to do?
And if you're not a drinker, which neither one of us are,
Yeah.
what's
That's it. You just,
what is us there to
yeah.
do?
Exactly. You leave. But if you end up staying, you end up drinking. Like that's just how it is in that town. So, what do you
Nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And it's just
And I mean, don't get me wrong, when I was there I drank, in high school, like I partied,
I did too.
but you got to grow out of that at some point. You can't stay in it, otherwise you end up stuck there and you end up as one of the people with multiple DUIs. You just get added to there should be a bulletin board there.
Here's your son.
Yeah. And surprisingly, there's multiple people there that don't have DUIs
That you'd be
somehow.
You'd be.
I don't think I've ever seen them drive sober. You know what I mean?
I don't think I've seen them so.
Exactly. And they're still No DUIs. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's an interesting town.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, guys, don't drink and drive. Okay. We'll end. We're at an hour, so we'll
We'll end off on that.
we'll end. Yeah. Don't drink and drive. Don't do drugs. Stay in school. And I don't even stay in school is probably not worth it anymore. So before we start giving bad advice, we'll shut it. But staying in school is like, yeah, maybe just to finish high school. But even then, there's people with GEDs that are making more money than me. So I can't say that I agree with that anymore.
What, people with GEDs make more than you?
No, that staying in high school is imperative to make money.
It's not.
Nope. It's imperative.
But I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. You should do it.
No, I do think you should at least finish high school. But the whole college situation, we'll talk about that some other time. I don't think that that's worth anybody's money. Unless,
I can tell you this. It depends on what you're.
yeah, it's got to be a specific thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, obviously, like doctors, lawyers, the ones that actually need to do the extensive training to actually get it, obviously,
yeah.
they need to be in place.
But then don't come crying to me.
But graphic
you've got-
designers, I'm sorry. Like there's something. Don't get me wrong. There's multiple things that you learn throughout that is valuable, but and I'm not just knocking just on that one thing. It's just there's a lot that's out there that experience is the real
Yeah.
teacher.
And my main thing is like, if you decide to go to school, don't tell me that I need to pay your bills. I don't need to pay your student loans back. You decide. Join the military if you want free college. Otherwise, pay your own freaking loans back. It's not my fault that you are in debt. You know what I mean? So that's the main thing. Is like, do not come after me or complain that you've got loans when you did it to yourself. So anyway, don't drink and drive. Anything else you want to?
Don't drink and drive.
All right, sounds good. We'll end it there. We'll see you guys on the next one. All right, see you guys.